Well, yes, it is first setting is okay. Now I have to set the second settings here. Well, second setting is okay. Salam Habibi, how are you? I hope you are fine. It is me, Michaela Santa. I am here with you. Accordance with titles, yes, today we are roasting Nabi Sinha in the points topic of the definitions of feminism. And now, today's our points is the war between Mossad versus Israeli terror. I mean, Mossad versus Iranian terrorists. I mean, here we can say Israeli soldiers versus Iranian terrorists. Okay, now here we can see the significant moments at the points we can say that feminist Nabi Sinha does not believe that feminist does not hate men. But here I want to discuss that how the definitions of feminism is to hate man who can protect his sovereignty of his own country. And here the in this live stream the country is Israel. Okay. Now first of all, well, here we can see the significant time has been wasted. Well. And here we can see the significant moments at the points to be noted, my lord. Well, here, now let's check it. What is she written? Okay. Now here we can see accordance with Nabi Sinha. Here, hate means rape, murders, and hate means just as gender crimes or bank robbery, etc. And here her point is feminist hates men or not? Okay. Well, now here, what is her title? Short title was Misogyny is hate and origin of abuse and crime, where misogyny is just a response. Okay. I do not exist the word of misandry because the real word of misandry is feminism. And here Aditi, her disciple Aditi replied that she needs 4B movement in India. Okay. Now here I am going to talk about the points that what is the definition of feminism accordance with the word between Israel versus Iranian terrorists. Okay. First of all, here we can see it is the real date March 1st, 2026. And here we can say Israeli Mossad misogynist agent is David Barnea. And he is dedicated to eliminate the Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei. Okay. Now I think I forgot to mention that who is David Barnea. Okay. And here I would like to mention is that well. Now it is the points to be noted, my lords. Well, with Barnea. And now here we can say the points about to be noted, my lords. And And what is who is Ali Khomeini? Here I can mention it. Well, Ali Khamenei. Okay. Now here it is the points is noted. And now, well, let me discuss about the definition of feminism. Well, uh, here I would talk about the definition of feminism in the perception of the war between Israel versus Iranian terrorists, particularly Israel versus Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei. Now let me check what is the definition of feminism. Well, definition of feminism, we can say that feminism is an ideology to hate against a particular gender to be Mossad, Israeli Mossad agent who can protect the sovereignty of his own country, Israel, against Iranian, the attack from Iranian terrorist Ali Khomeini. Here. And how it is the definition of feminism, I would explain it. First of all, here we can say, I would discuss it about the velocity, I would discuss it about the time, I would discuss it about the kinetic power fuel system, and I would discuss it about the weapon points only in the educational purpose. Okay? Now let's see. Well, now here we can say that how David Barnea works. It is the man David Barnea. Well, David Barnea, the misogynist Israeli agent director to eliminate the Iranian terrorist leader Ali Khomeini. Well, and in this moment, I would mention that what about the hypothetical March 1st, 2026? Here would be an feminist, toxic feminist Israeli Mossad agent named Aisha Siddiqa. She also would be dedicated to eliminate the Iranian terrorist Ali Khomeini. But now, let's check what is the difference, what is the definition of feminism. Okay, now here we can see the deeper, when David Barnea, the misogynist Israeli Mossad director, is to eliminate Iranian terrorist Ali Khomeini, his departure would be Tel Aviv, Israel, and his arrivals would be Tehran, Iran. And the driving distance is 28,000 kilometers, and the driving timing would be 1 second. Here, half of weight of Israeli McLaren car would be 1,000 kilograms. And now, here we can say that what is the definition of feminism and what is the definition of misogyny. Here, I am here to say about the points that here where I am expert of this. Okay. When we can get a misogynist Israeli Mossad director, he contains a McLaren car with the velocity of 28,000 km per second. That means here when the driving distance between Tel Aviv, Israel, and Tehran, the city of Iran, is 28,000 kilometers, it can be traveled in the driving timing of 1 second. And now, here we can see what is the definition of feminism. Okay. The definition of feminism is just to hate an Israeli Mossad agent who can contains the Mossad McLaren car with the velocity of 28,000 kilometers per second. Now, what is the problem in the definition of feminism? I would explain. The definition of feminism problematic is just because here we can say when David Barnea, the misogynist Israeli Mossad agent, is to dedicated to eliminate uh, Iranian terrorist leader Ali Khamenei when he would depart Tel Aviv, Israel at the March 1st, 2026 at morning 6 o'clock. He would arrive on Tehran, the capital city of Iran, at March 1st, 2026 at morning 6 o'clock, 1 second past. And that is the problematic for uh, Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei, because Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei could get no preparation time to escape the attack from man David Barnea, the misogynist Israeli Mossad agent. And that is the significant point. Um, why feminism hates Israeli Mossad agent to be man to contains the McLaren car with the velocity of 28,000 kilometers per second, because we are driving distances 28,000 kilometers. Enemy of Israel, Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei contains no preparation time to get escaped from the attack of Israeli man Mossad agent. And that is why feminism hates man with the velocity of 28,000 kilometers. Okay. Now here we can say what is the second point. Here we can see the notifiers. Now here I would mention that what is the second perception of the definition of feminism. Feminism is an ideology to respect the particular gender to be Israeli Mossad agent to contains the car with the velocity of 1 kilometer per hour. And here is we can answer the significant moments. Well, it can be man, it can be women, and it can be transgender. And here I would show you that what is the significant points. Okay. Now here we can see that the significant points is here. Well, here Aisha Siddiqa, it is the hypothetical dates, March 1st, 2026, where Aisha Siddiqa would be the toxic feminist Israeli Mossad director to eliminate Iranian terrorist leader Ali Khamenei. Okay. Now here we can see the what about the points of Aisha Siddiqa to be feminist Israeli Mossad directors. Well, she would contain the velocity of 1 kilometer per hour. Hence, when the driving distance is 28,000 kilometers, here driving timing would be 28,000 hours. That means it is almost 5 years, 4 months, 2 days, 4 hours. Okay. Now, what is the meaning at the moment terms? It is almost just like a significant moments. Okay. The significant moments is when Aisha Siddiqa, the women to be Israeli Mossad agent, would depart Tel Aviv, the capital city of Israel, when the driving distance is 28,000 kilometers, where departure time would be March 1st, 2026 at the morning 6 o'clock, she would arrive on Tehran, this capital city of Iran, at uh, July 2nd, 2031 at morning 10 o'clock, because the travel time would be 5 years, 4 months, 22nd days, 4 hours, and that is the significant points. Now, now let's see the momentum at the points. Now here we can say what is the driving timing when the driving the distance is 28,000 kilometers according with driving timing. Now here I would mention that what is the definition of feminism. Okay, definition of feminism is to hate. Feminism is an ideology to hate a man to be Israeli Mossad agent who can drive McLaren car in the timing of 1 second, where driving distance is 28,000 kilometers. And in the same time, feminism is the ideology of the person to respect women to be Israeli Mossad agent who can who contains the Mossad McLaren car with the velocity of 1 kilometer per hour, where driving distance is 28,000 kilometers. Driving timing would be 5 years, 4 months, 22 days, 4 hours. Hence, when the departure time would be March 1st, 2026 at morning 6 o'clock, arrival date would be July 22nd, 2031 at morning 10 o'clock. And this is the significant moments. And now, in the perception of Israeli Mossad agency, we can say feminism is just an anti-national movement. Okay. Now here it is the significant points at the moments, as we can see what is the journey. Now let's see the difference between misogynist Israeli Mossad director versus toxic feminist Israeli Mossad director. Okay. Now, when we can get the misogynist Israeli Mossad director in the real date, he contains here the velocity of 28,000 km per second. But when we would get the toxic feminist Israeli Mossad agent, we would get the velocity of one Mossad car with the velocity of 1 kilometer per hour. Now, where is 28,000 kilometer per second and where is 1 kilometer per hour? It is the significant difference, as we can see. Well, and what about the timing when we can get the misogynist Israeli Mossad agent when the driving distance is 28,000 kilometers? We could see that driving timing would be 1 second. But when we can get the toxic feminist Israeli Mossad directors, the Israeli Mossad car would contain 1 kilometer per hour, the driving distance is 28,000 kilometers, driving timing would be 5 years, 4 months, 22 days, 4 hours. Now, when the driving distance is 28,000 kilometers, where is 1 second and where is 5 years, 4 months, 22 days, 4 hours? That is the significant difference. Now, here we can see when we can get the toxic feminist Israeli Mossad agent, accordance with the velocity, significant velocity decrease is disadvantage for Israeli army and Israeli Mossad agent. But at the same time, it is significant advantage only for Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei. And what about the timing when driving distance is 23,000 kilometers? Well, here we can see misogynist Israeli Mossad director contains the driving timing of 1 second and feminist Israeli Mossad director contains here driving timing of 5 years, 4 months, 22 days, 4 hours. And it is the significant timing disadvantage for Israeli Mossad agent. But at the same time, it is the significant timing advantage for Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei. Because when we can get Israeli women to be toxic feminist Israeli Mossad directors at the points, hence here our car, it is when the driving distance is 28,000 kilometers, driving timing is 5 years, 4 months, 22 days, 4 hours. And that is the significant advantage for Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei to get a proper preparation times to attack on Israel in 333 times. Now, here we can see that if Iranian attack rate would be 1 attack per day, now the feminist Israeli Mossad director would take 23 days, 2333 days, and here is the significant preparation time for Ali Khamenei to attack on Israel in 23 days, 2333 days. And probably we can say that perhaps Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei would attack on Israel in the continuously 5 years, because here we go, Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei could get the proper preparation time for this. Well, now what about the enemy terrorist Ali Khamenei? What is the definition of feminism in Israel? Definition of feminism in Israel is feminism is ideology to support Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei to conduct a terrorist attack on Israel in 2191 days with 2191 terrorist attacks. Here is the points we can see. Now we have discussed about the definition of feminism. Now let's see What is the definitions of misogyny? Definition of misogyny, we can say that misogyny is an just wait for what? Well, misogyny is an ideology to support a particular gender to be Israeli Mossad agent to contents the car with the velocity of 28,000 kilometer per second, where the enemy driving distance is 28,000 kilometers. Enemy Iranian terrorist Ali Khomeini could get no preparation time to escape from the attack of him. Now here we can see the points. But now we can discuss about the what is the misogyny accordance with NabySinha. Accordance with NabySinha, misogyny means the head and origin of abuse and crime. Okay. Now we can explain the points of NabySinha. Accordance with NabySinha, when the war is between Israel versus Iranian terrorists, yes, what is the NabySinha's point is when an Israeli Mossad agent can contain a McLaren car with the velocity of 28,000 kilometer per second, and that is the origin of abuse and crime accordance with NabySinha. And what is the support for human and child accordance with NabySinha? Well, accordance with NabySinha, if Israeli Mossad agent can contain the car with the velocity of 1 kilometer per hour, that is the support for Israeli child accordance with NabySinha. And that is the significant problematics we can see. Okay. Here is the points here we can see. What is hate accordance with NabySinha? Accordance with NabySinha, the hate for Israel is when an Israeli man to be Mossad agent can contain a car with the velocity of 28,000 kilometers per second. Hence, when the driving distance would be 28,000 kilometers, driving timing would be 1 second. Hence, where departure time would be March 1st, 2026 at morning 6 o'clock. Arrival time would be March 1st, 2026 at morning 6 o'clock, 1 second past. It is the points that is the hate accordance with NabySinha. Because, well, a man to be Israeli Mossad agent containing the car with the velocity of 28,000 kilometers per second is actually the misogyny, because misogyny is pro-nationalistic for Israeli sovereignty. And the misogyny is pro-nationalist in this national sovereignty. Here, this point I have discussed in the previous two live, where first live is the point of MI6 and second live the point is about CIA. And the present live is the point about what the present life is just point about Mossad. Okay, now let's see the significant moments about the third points. Here we can discuss the third point is kinetic powers. Okay. Well, it is about the car. Okay. Now here we can notify. Just wait and watch. Here unnecessary things is well. Now here we can see the kinetic power when we can get David Barnea, the misogynist Israeli Mossad directors. Here kinetic power is 784 billion megawatts. Okay. Now here we can see there are significant moments. But what if when we can contain the toxic feminist to be Israeli Mossad directors? Now let's get the points at okay. Let's get the points at the significant points. When we can get any women, Israeli women, to be toxic feminist Israeli Mossad directors, here kinetic power is 0.766 microwatts. Okay. Now here we can see how can I calculate the kinetic powers when I am a misogynist woman. Okay. Now here we can see the points. Well, now here the point to be noted, Millers, that we know the when we are talking about the Israeli Mossad McLaren car, here we know the kinetic power equation of kinetic power is half of weight of Israeli Mossad McLaren car multiplied by distance square divided by travel time cube. Now here we can see driving distance is 28,000 kilometers, where departure is Tel Aviv, the capital city of Israel, and arrival is Tehran, the capital city of Iran, where target is to eliminate Iranian terrorist leader Ali Khamenei. Okay. Now here we can see the significant moments. Now the observation is driving timing is 1 second. Now we can see the observations. We could see that driving timing square equal to driving timing cube equal to driving timing to the power 7 equal to driving timing to the power 666. Because 1 square equal to 1 cube equal to 1 to the power 7 equal to 1 to the power 666 is equal to 1. And that is the points. And here, when driving timing is 1 second, and we are talking about Israeli Mossad McLaren cars kinetic powers, here kinetic power is kinetic energy. Hence, the equation of kinetic power is the equation of kinetic energy. Now, the equation of kinetic power is half of weight of Israeli Mossad McLaren car multiplied by distance square. Okay. Now let's check out the points. We know the Israeli Mossad car, half of weight of Israeli Mossad car is 1000 kilograms as an input. Now here we can see the second input is driving distance is 28,000 kilometers. Here is my points. What is 28,000 kilometers? That is 28 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 meters. Okay. Hence the driving distance is 28 square driving distance square is 28 square multiplied by 10 to the power 6 square meter square. Now let's see what is the observations. What is 28 square? That is 784. What is 10 to the power 6 square? That is 10 to the power 12. What is the multiplication between 10 cube multiplied by 10 to the power 12? That is 10 to the power 15. Hence, the kinetic power is 784 multiplied by 10 to the power 15 watts. And now, here is my second observations. The second observation is, what is 10 to the power 15 watts? That is 1 quadrillion watts. That is 1 billion megawatts. Hence, when we can say kinetic power as 784 multiplied by 10 to the power 15 watts, that is 784 billion megawatts. That is the kinetic powers of Israeli Mossad McLaren car owned by misogynist Israeli Mossad director. Okay. And here is the significant point. But what if we would contest the Mossad car of the toxic feminist okay. What if we would contest the Mossad car owned by toxic feminist Israeli Mossad directors? And here, that is the significant points as we could notify. Okay, now here we can see. Well, now here we can see the equation of kinetic power is half of weight of Israeli Mossad car multiplied by driving distance square divided by driving time cube. Okay. Now here kinetic power is not kinetic energy because here driving distance is 28,000 kilometers and the driving timing is 5 years, 4 months, 22 days, 4 hours. That is here, that means it is 1008 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 seconds. Okay. And now, let's get the points. When we can say, when the input of the driving distance square is 28 square multiplied by 10 to the power 6 square, and input of half of weight of Israeli Mossad McLaren car is 1000 kilograms. Here, the value of driving distance cube is 1008 cube multiplied by 10 to the power 5 cube, second cube. Okay. Now let's get the observations. What is 10 to the power 6 square? That is 10 to the power 12. What is 10 to the power 12 multiplied by 1000? That is 10 to the power 15. Okay. Now what is 10 to the power 5 cube? That is 10 to the power 15. Here we can say 10 to the power 12 multiplied by 1000 is 10 to the power 5 cube. Okay. Hence, what is 10 to the power 12? What is 10 to the power 6 square? Enter multiplied by 1000. Enter divided by 10 to the power 5 cube. That is 10 to the power 15 divided by 10 to the power 15. That is 1. Hence, the calculations becomes 28 square divided by 1008 cube. Hence the calculation is 784 divided by 1008 cube. That is 0.766 microwatt. It is the kinetic powers of Israeli Mossad McLaren car owned by toxic feminist Israeli Mossad director. Okay, now here we can see it is the points. Well, now let's get the points. What is the definition of feminism and what is the definition of misogyny? Here, I am here to explain. The definition of feminism, we can say that feminism is an ideology to hate a particular gender, to be Israeli Mossad agent, to contains a car with the kinetic powers of 784 billion megawatts when the driving distance is 28,000 kilometers. At the same time, feminism is ideology to support a particular gender, to be Israeli Mossad agent, to contain an Israeli Mossad car with the kinetic power of 0.766 microwatt when the driving distance is 28,000 kilometers. Now here we can see what is the definition of misogyny. Definition of misogyny is the opposite of definition of feminism. Definition of misogyny is ideology to hate a particular gender, to be Israeli Mossad agent with containing the McLaren car with the velocity kinetic powers of 0.766 microwatt, where driving distance is 28,000 kilometers. And at the same time, misogyny is the ideology to support the particular gender, to be Israeli Mossad agent, containing the Israeli McLaren car with the kinetic power of 784 billion megawatt, where driving the distance is 28,000 kilometers. Now here you can see the difference. When an Israeli Mossad agent contains, okay, now when an Israeli Mossad agent contains here misogynist Israeli Mossad director, he contains the Israeli Mossad car with the kinetic powers of 784 billion megawatts, where driving distance is 28,000 kilometers. But when Israeli Mossad agency contains the toxic feminist, to be Israeli Mossad directors, she contains the kinetic Israeli McLaren car with the kinetic power of 0.766 microwatt when driving distance is 28,000 kilometers. Now, where is 784 billion megawatts and where is 0.766 microwatts? That is the significant disadvantage for Israeli Mossad agency, but at the same time, that is the significant advantage only for Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei, because Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei would contain proper preparation time to attack on the sovereignty of Israel. Okay. And here we can see, well, nice. I appreciate your points. Okay. Okay. We appreciate your points at the moment. And it would be appreciated the appreciative points. Well, now let's see. Well, You can see the significant moments. Well, now here we can see the nice job. Now let's talk about the fuel systems. Okay, when we can get the misogynist Israeli Mossad director like David Barnea, we can contest the fuel system to be artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. Okay, and here we can say next check at the points, and here the necessary fuel weight is 7.8 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 666,641 picograms. Okay, and now let's check it the points when we can get the toxic feminist women to be Israeli Mossad director. Well, yes, the next point is fuel at the moment. Uh, when we can get the toxic feminist to be Israeli Mossad directors, here a fuel system would be petrols. On the second points, here we can say necessary fuel volume is 1.02 liters of petrols. Okay. Now in the fuel system, I can say what is the points definition of misogyny and what is the definition of feminism. Okay. Now let's check at the points. At the first moment that how can I calculate the fuel weights of necessary fuel weights, and how can I define the definitions of feminism and misogyny with the necessary fuel weights. Here we can see the points. Now I have to be off camera because of being illness. Okay. Now here we know that what is the engine capability. The equation of engine capability is kinetic energy divided by bracket of weight of fuel multiplied by specific heat of fuel multiplied by temperature of fuel bracket close. Now basically here we can say the equations of engine capability is the equation of engine capability is equal the kinetic energy divided by thermal energy. And what is the thermal energy? The equation of thermal energy is weight of fuel multiplied by specific heat of fuel multiplied by temperature of fuel. Now, when we can get the misogynist Israeli Mossad director, then what is the points? Okay. When we can get the misogynist Israeli Mossad directors, the point to be noted, Milord, okay. Here the point is significant, we can notify. And here the point is kinetic power would be 784 billion megawatts. That means 784 multiplied by 10 to the power 15 watts. And now when we can driving distance is 28,000 kilometers and the driving timing would be 1 second. Here we can mention that kinetic power is kinetic energy. Okay. Now let's see the point is someone says, are you men or women? You talk so badly. Well, okay. I contains the natural sperms. Well, and I do not show my face because my face is too ugly that cannot show my face to even to my parents. Even my parents cannot know that what is my face because my face is ugly. And when my point is, am I man or woman? I have a natural sperm. Okay. Well, okay. Now your laptop first one. Well, my laptop is ancient laptop. Now let's talk about the moments and I would say the personal points. Okay. Now here we can see the when the fuel kinetic power is 784 multiplied by 10 to the power 15 watts, and when driving distance is 1 second, here kinetic power is kinetic energy. When hence we can say the kinetic energy is 784 multiplied by 10 to the power 15 joules. Well, now we know the engine capability is 98%. And we know the artificial solar arc reactor with the fuel is artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. Hence, the specific heat of fuel would be 15,408 joule per kilogram per Kelvin. And what about the point? The temperature I have mentioned, 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. But we know the fuel, we do not know what is the fuel weight. Hence, the calculations became calculations of equation of fuel weight becomes kinetic power divided by bracket of engine capability multiplied by specific heat multiplied by temperature bracket close. And here, after calculation, we get the necessary fuel weight, that is 7.8 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 666,641 picograms. That is lighter than 1 picograms. And when it is the necessary fuel weight would be the for Israeli Mossad McLaren car owned by Misogynist Israeli Mossad director. Okay. Now, laptop screen show fast point. No. Laptop screen does not show fast point. We are at the normals. Okay. And now let's check at the points to be noticed. Here the necessary fuel volume. Okay. Now when we got the toxic feminist to be Israeli Mossad directors, what is the significant? Okay. Well, the significant points is the significant moments, as we can see. The necessary fuel volume is okay. Now here is the necessary. What is the engine capability equations? I have mentioned that here kinetic energy divided by thermal energy, where thermal energy is multiplication between weight of fuel and specific heat of fuel and temperature of fuels. And here, when we can get the toxic feminist women to be Israeli Mossad directors, here fuel system is petrol. When the fuel system is petrol, here we can say the significant moments. The petrol specific petrol specific. I would take a breath. Petrol specific heat is 2 joule per kilogram per Kelvin. Temperature of petrol is 50 degrees Celsius. We know the engine capability is 98%. And here The what is the kinetic energy? The kinetic energy is half of weight of Israeli Mossad car multiplied by distance square divided by travel time square. Okay. Now here multiplication between half of weight of Israeli Mossad McLaren car and distance square is 784 multiplied by 10 to the power 15. And what is the travel time square? That is 1008 square multiplied by 10 to the power 5 square. That is 1008 square multiplied by 10 to the power 10. But we do not know what is the weight of petrol. Actually, we know the density of petrol is 0.7778 kilogram per liters. But we do not know what is the volume of petrol. Hence, the calculations of necessary petrol volume is the half of weight of Israeli Mossad car multiplied by distance square enter divided by bracket of travel time square multiplied by engine capability multiplied by density of petrols multiplied by specific heat of petrols multiplied by temperature of petrols. Here calculations becomes 784 multiplied by 10 to the power 10 enter divided by bracket of 1080 square multiplied by 98 multiplied by 0.7778 bracket close. Hence, we know we can get the petrol volume is 1.02 liters of petrols. Okay. Now, are you Muslim? Yes. You can see me that I wear hijab and niqab. Yes, of course, I am Muslim. Okay. Now let's talk about here the points. What is the definition of feminism in the fuel system? Well, definition of feminism is here the feminism is an ideology to hate a particular gender to be Israeli Mossad agent where to contains a fuel system of Israeli Mossad McLaren car where fuel is artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. When Israel, when we can, when here we can talk about when driving time is 28,000, driving distance is 28,000 kilometers. Here the driving timing is 1 second. Hence the necessary fuel weight is 7.8 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 641 picograms of artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. On the same time, feminism support whom? Feminism supports a particular gender to be Israeli Mossad agent containing the petrol system for Israeli Mossad car where necessary petrol volume would be 1.02 liter of petrol where the driving distance is 23,000 kilometers. Hence the driving time would be 5 years, 4 months, 22 days, 4 hours. And here we can see, I have mentioned the disadvantage of driving timing to be 5 years, 4 months, 22 days, 4 hours when driving distance is 28,000 kilometers. And how we can say 1.02 liter of petrol system for Israeli Mossad McLaren car is the beneficial for the enemy of Israel to be Iranian terrorist leader Ali Khamenei. That means, okay. Now here message is deleted. Where Iran fightings. Oh my God. Stop. Okay, yes, I would accept your points. Mm, okay. It would be cost for me. Well, I would accept for all of your recommendations, and I would accept. And here I have a response for you. Okay. Now it is the points to be noticed that. Uh, okay. Now let's see what is the toxic feminism. Now let's see what is the difference. When we got the misogynist Israeli Mossad agent as a director, our fuel is artificial solar arc reactor with a temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. But when we can get the toxic feminist to be an Israeli Mossad agent, well, our petrol system fuel is petrol system and of the car. And here it is the significant advantage for Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei. Okay, now here I can say what is the momentums at the points. Well, I think it is not the possible at the momentums we can see. Well, when I can talk about the Israel, the definition of feminism in the points between of the war between Israel versus Iranian terrorists, well, I would not get any problems just because my live stream is in the topic of news and politics. Okay. And it is the topic for the geopolitics as we can see the definition of feminism. Now, here we can see the significant moments. Well, let's talk about the significant points. Now, here we can see that what is the significant negative point for NabySinha. Okay. NabySinha says, well, misogyny is hate and origin of abuse and crime. That means when an Israeli Mossad agent can contains the fuel system for his car, where fuel would be artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius, accordance with NabySinha, that is origin of abuse and crime accordance with NabySinha, and that is heads accordance with NabySinha. But when the same Israeli Mossad agent would contain the petrol system for car, that is not hate accordance with NabySinha, and that is just a response against misogyny accordance with NabySinha, where petrol system is anti-national and artificial solar arc reactor. Okay, you can find as soon as possible. But I hope you would live alive as well. Okay, now here we can see according it is the points the NabySinha accordance with NabySinha, the feminism is the supporting the man. Feminism can support the man, but who would be the man that feminists can support? The feminists support the man who would be Israeli Mossad agent with the car containing the velocity of 1 kilometer per hour. Hence, when the driving distance is 28,000 kilometers, driving timing would be 5 years, 4 months, 22 days, 4 hours. Who is the man feminist would hate? The man feminist would hate would be the Israeli Mossad car would contest the Israeli Mossad agent would contact the Israeli Mossad car with the velocity of 28,000 km per second, where driving distance is 28,000 kilometers, driving timing would be 1 second. And it is the point that what is the definition of misogyny and what is the definition of feminism. And I think that I would explain what is the definition of misogyny versus feminism. And now, here I have noticed that when I am talking that what is the definition of misogyny in the sovereignty of Israel, and when I have mentioned that what is the definition of feminism when the war is between Israel versus Iran, here some of here we can say I have notified the points. Well, Abdul Mohan Rauf claims that if I am Muslim or not, and here okay, how dare you to talk about the Mossad agents? Okay, but I do not support Mossad agent, and neither I hate Mossad agents. I just talk is that what is the definition of feminism when the topic is to the sovereignty of Israel. Well, here in the points I could talk about the Israeli defense force. I could talk, but here Mossad agents I can feel comfortable for it. Okay. Now, but here we can see that is the message deleted. Okay. Now, I think it is very discomfortable for it. And now let's check at the points. Okay. When Israel Mossad agency would contest the misogynist directors, well, and here is the wars between Israel versus here would be the war between Israel versus Iranian terrorists. Well, Iranian sonic earthquake magnitude can be 666,666,000 Higgs, and hence we can see that here the topping is the point. Sonic earthquake wavelength for Iranian earthquake would be 2.34 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 1 billion 30 meters. But now we can see when we can get the toxic feminist to be Israeli Mossad directors, and here the war is between Israel versus Iranian terrorists. Now here we can say Israel versus Iranian. The sonic earthquake magnitude for Tehran would be 2, and here we can see the points. It can say that is would be wavelength would be 2.34 meters as a sonic earthquake wavelength. Now, what is the definition of feminism? Well, when the enemy country of Iranian terrorists would contest the earthquake magnitude of 2 in lieu of earthquake of magnitude of 666 billion, 666 million, 666,000, 666. And when if uh, an Israeli Mossad agent can conduct an sonic earthquake with the magnitude of 666 million, 666,000, 666, where wavelength is 2.34 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 1 billion 30 meters, he can be hated by the ideology, and here the ideology is feminism. And here I am talking about what is the definitions of feminism. NabySinha mislead you. And now, okay, say hi. Salam. And now you can say what is the significant points here we can respect at the moments. Here I just talk about what is the definition of feminism and how feminism hates the nationalist man. Here I have just discussed about the sovereignty of Israel accordance with NabySinha here mislead you about definition of feminism. Okay, see you then. Khodafez. Love you. चलो भाई